The Queensland flood appeal will be expanded to include victims of Cyclone Yasi. It was initially set up to help people affected by flooding in the state's south and centre, but the Premier says the state's reconstruction effort has increased significantly.
The Premier and emergency services bosses bunkered down in Brisbane overnight, preparing for the worst.
I'm very relieved this morning.
They say residents played it safe and took heed of the warnings.
I think it's a combination of the fact that people have listened to the advice and taken the appropriate decisions to relocate.
As the cyclone continues west, the focus is shifting to the destruction left behind. The Premier says the reconstruction effort will be massive, and so will the bill.
Of course, the flood appeal will now have to broaden out to be a wider disaster appeal.
$192 million has been raised so far, and much of that was earmarked for the southeast Queensland flood victims left high and dry by insurers.
I do anticipate that more people will be able to access their insurance payments because there won't be any dispute about the definition of the event they've just experienced.
The Prime Minister says disaster relief payments are available.
This is the emergency money, $1,000 per adult and $400 per child.
Late this afternoon, the Prime Minister boarded a plane and headed to Queensland, where she'll meet with the Premier and survey the cyclone damage. 500 SES volunteers will be flown into affected areas once the damage assessment is done.
When the repair crews come in, they can be targeted at the areas of most need.
We will rebuild from the floods. We will rebuild from the cyclone. We will rebuild from anything that nature throws at us.
Yasi is the third cyclone in Queensland this year. The Weather Bureau says there could be more.
We're still only into the middle of the cyclone season, and normally we do see most of our cyclones from February through to March.
The good news is there's no imminent threat. Tom Forbes, ABC News, Brisbane.